Yeah, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. The San Francisco Giants beat the Houston Astros 6-3. Tough loss for the Astros. Take one here. Yeah, like I said, tough loss. And the thing I will say is that it's way early into the season to be overreacting over things. Offensively, yes, this team has been a nutcase to start off this year. I actually was not too. Honestly, just in my opinion, I didn't think the offense was that bad today. I thought they were terrible when they got runners, in scoring position. 2 for 7 today with runners in scoring position. So, look, but there's been problems getting runners into scoring position in the past. So, 7 hits today, which is the same amount as they had yesterday, but they've only reached 7 hits or more. They haven't gone over 7 hits in a game this year. And not only that, but they, had their offense did the most damage they've done in a game. Now, they haven't gone over 3 runs yet, but they had 7 hits and had a bunch of walks in this game today. This is, I think, the best we've seen the offense, and that's sad. It's really sad that that's the case, but I thought there was a little bit of an improvement with the offense today, but that's not good at all. If this performance is an improvement, but look, it's way too early to overreact because this is the way the Astros play to start off the year. I know there's parts of this lineup that is very weak, but there's also parts of this lineup through the 6 games that has been very weak through the first 6 games that some of these guys are eventually going to catch hot. Guys like Christian Walker, Yainer Diaz, Jeremy Pena, who've been horrendous so far the start off the year. If you don't include Yordan Alverez today and what he was doing the first 5 games of the season, him as well. So, yeah, I think that it's way too early. Last year, the Astros started 7-19, and people freaked out the same way they're freaking out now at 2-4. The Astros this year start off 2-1. Literally last year, they started off 0-4. To me, I will say that I think that so far, this Astros team is doing better than they were last year at this point, because they didn't get swept last year. I mean, like last year at this point, they start their first 2 series of the season last year started off 2-5. First 2 series of this year started off 2-4. It's a little bit better, but also another thing is their starting pitching. Their pitching is not was not as good so far. Was not as good last year as it was this or it has been this year. Starting pitching through their first time around, not including Fromber's start today, had a 2.79 ERA in their starts. Last year's the Astros' first time around, their first time around as through the rotation, had like a 4. It was like a 4.5, 4.6 ERA. I believe I read might have been 4.7. So the Astros pitching, I believe, has been way better so far to start off the year than it was last year, and that's another good thing. But the offense has to catch fire, and that hasn't happened yet. But like I said, I think there's way too many players on this roster. Look, you're seeing guys that are struggling at the plate that maybe they're not maybe they're not going to do productive things for this offense. But then there's also guys in this offense right now that are not doing a good job, who are better than what they're showing so far. And here's the thing I hate. And I saw this with the Braves. I was just watching the Braves Dodgers game. Shohei Ohtani hit a crazy walk-off home run, unbelievable. But I was watching the Dodgers Braves game, watched the entire game, and as I'm watching the game, the Dodgers announcers are talking about. The play-by-play announcer talked about how he talked to the Braves skipper. Obviously we know the Braves have started off to a terrible 0-6 start after Shohei Ohtani's home run. They're 0-7. So you think what the Astros have going on here is bad. Look at Atlanta. They're 0-7 and just had a walk-off home run happen against them, had a 5-0 lead today. So they've been brutal so far, just like the Astros. But the thing that I love that he said is that if this were to happen at any time of the year, this is what he told the Dodgers announcers, if this were to happen at any time of the year, middle of the season, it'd just be like, oh yeah, we've lost 5-6 in a row. We're going through a bad stretch. We'll catch on fire. But the fact that it happens to begin the season makes it a complete disaster. That's another thing. If the Astros had a 2-4 stretch in the middle of the season and had been playing good baseball, honestly, I don't know how many people would actually be freaking out about this. So it's way too early in the season. I don't know. Here's the thing I don't understand about Astros fans. How do they freak out so bad? And look, I freak out as well, but I understand that there's a really good chance that they'll catch hot. How do we continue to, every year, continue to overreact so badly about a slow start when we've been seeing it for way too many seasons of how this team does not. We can go back all the way to 2019. Even 2019 is probably the best Astros team I've ever witnessed, and even that team didn't even look that good to start off their year. Even that team looked pretty bad to start off the season and didn't really get fully going. I mean, they didn't really fully get going that year until around May, in that area. So we've been seeing it. We've been seeing Alex Bregman the last couple of years look like one of the worst hitters ever in the month of April, in the month of March. We've been seeing these slow starts before. And each time they happen, eventually in the month of May, June, last year, it really didn't start to happen until, end of June, July, August, this team figures it out. I hope it's earlier than it happened last season. But honestly, I just think you can't freak out. And that, because I think halfway the season, if this team still looks like this, panic. But, I mean, we've learned too many times that this team, does not show up to begin the season. I've been seeing it happen since 2019, as early as I can remember. They did it last year. They're doing it this year. They did it in 2023. 2022. Even 2022, the year they won the World Series, they didn't even start out that well. I don't think they had a plus 500 record through 20 games. So, yeah, in the 2022 team, I think the only 2021, I think there weren't any. No, even 2021, there were some early struggles as well. 2020, 2020 was a shortened season. Let's not count 2020. Like I said, 2019 was another, rough start for the Astros to start off the year where a lot of people were freaking out about the way they're playing. I feel like I've seen this every year for the Astros going back to 2019. So I'm not going to freak out and say season's over. There are so many fans so far that are giving up on this team. I'm not going to do that just because of 6 games. Look, I'll say this as well, because I talked about this. I talked about this with the Braves a couple days ago when they were 0-4. If this was another league, if this was the NFL, you're 2-4. You're a little bit more on the edge. Or if you're 0 whatever, you're a little more on the edge. If you're in the NBA, you're 2-4. It doesn't mean anything, but you got to start winning games. In the MLB, you're 2-4. Who gives a damn? I mean, you're gonna 2-4. It's 162 games in the season. 2-4 does not matter. I mean, it is way too long of a season to overreact over 6 games. But yeah, I want to enough talking about the slow start. I want to go over some stats of this game. 6 hits for the Giants, 7 for the Astros, 1 error for the Astros. I'm trying to remember who that error went to. I can't remember. I want to say I'm sorry, I don't remember who that error went to. Scoring summary: Flores hit a home run, 2-run shot in the first inning. How about this? I mean, Flores last year hit 4 home runs. This is his 4th home run of the season so far through 6 games. He's reached his home run total last season through 6 games. That is nuts. Then second inning, Matos hits home run to center. It's 3-0, and just like that, Framber Valdez gives up a multi-home run game. And Framber Valdez last year only twice did he give up multiple home runs in one game, and he's already done it this year. I mean, today Fromber looked like a disaster to start off his day. It looked like a disaster from innings 1 and 2, innings 3, 4, and 5. Fromber and Valdez looked locked down, but unfortunately, that honestly, if Valdez doesn't get off to the slow start, the Astros win this game easily. That slow start for Fromber really hurt this team today. I don't think it was their bats hurt them. It failed them to come back today. They're 2 for 7, in scoring position with runners in scoring position hurt them today. But Framber Valdez is honestly his early on struggles are really what hurt this team the most today. Because if you look outside of that, the Astros win this game 3-1, just like they did opening day in Framber Valdez's start. So that was really rough to see with Framber today, but. It happens. You're going to see a couple outings like this over the season. He's going to get 30-plus starts this year. You're going to see it in a couple starts. So I'm glad it's happening early in the season, not later in the season, I guess. But then Ramos hits a second-inning RBI double to left. Fitzgerald scored. Yastrzemski scored at 5-0. Zach DeZinzo, I was impressed with Zach DeZinzo today. Made a really impressive catch in right field today. I think he's really starting to get a little bit comfortable playing right field. Made a very nice diving catch, had a single to center to score Pena in the second, made it 5-1. And this is good to see. Yordan Alverez in the fifth inning hit an RBI single to score Altuve and McCormick. Paredes to third, 5-3. And then Lamont Wade Jr. hit a home run to end his 0-for-16 start to the season as a pinch hitter in the eighth inning to pinch hit for the catcher Huff. Who did he put? Schmidt, the first baseman. And then it was Bailey who pinch hit for Huff. And so that made it 6-3, and that really made it out of reach for this Astros team. I think 5-3, there was some hope, but 6-3, you really knew it was over. Win goes to pitcher Rodriguez. He pitched 1 inning, gave it 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, 0 walks. Loss goes to Framber Valdez. He goes 5 innings. He's 1-1 on the year now. Get 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 9 strikeouts. It's his hits more than he had the other day. He had 4 the other day, last week. And 4 walks for Framber as well. Save goes to Doval. He's second save. Pitched the 9th, giving up no damage. Let's go over the Astros bats today. Altuve looked good today, 2 for 5. Struck out in his first at bat, ground out to third. Reach on an infield single in the 5th inning, which really was just a terrible play by the Giants infield, not being able to get the ball. What it reminded me of was when a couple years ago Alex Bergman had that amazing, fly ball, pop up that no one could catch. I want to say it was an extra innings, and I believe it was Derek Fisher who ended up scoring on that play. But yeah, it was kind of like that with Jose Altuve in the 5th inning. But that's what continued the Astros having a really solid 5th inning. And the 6th inning had a single to right. This was one of the unfortunate things for the Astros in this game. 6th inning, Altuve hits a single. DeZinzo gets to third, and all of a sudden it's a situation where you got runners on the corners for Isaac Paredes, but couldn't get any damage done there. But that was a moment in the 6th inning where it's a 2-run ball game, and you got Altuve and DeZinzo on the corners. Maybe you hope there's life, but there's not. But yeah, 2 for 5 day for Altuve at the first time at the DH this year. Isaac Paredes, 0 for 4 today, had a walk to load the base in the 5th, which was key to get Yordan Alverez a bat with the bases loaded with 0 outs. Speaking of Yordan, 2 for 4 today. Look, I'm not surprised this happened at all, because I'll tell you why. I saw some video the other day saying that, talking about Rafael Devers' struggles so far to open up the year, and they were talking about how Yordan Alvarez, it started off talking about Rafael Devers, but then it went into how Yordan Alvarez as a left fielder in his career has a batting average of 280, and I'm sure that number's down since he's pretty much done nothing at the plate this year when he's played at the DH, only 1 hit. But then when he's in left field, his batting average is 320. Well, you can probably put that number up a little bit because Yordan goes 2 for 4 with a walk today. Yordan is statistically better offensively when he is at the left field position. I know you don't want him to play left field because you don't want him to get injured. And sometimes with his speed, he can be a liability defensively, but so is number 27. But it's statistically, he is better offensively when he's playing left field compared to DH. So that's maybe something Astros should think about when, where Yordan's going to be in the lineup card. But 2 singles today, a single in the 3rd inning, 5th inning single to right. They originally ruled this as an error and only 1 RBI for Yordan. And I was so confused. I'm like, that is not an error. That is a single, and that is 2 RBIs. And then they went back and changed it, and then that became a 2-for-4 day for Yordan with 2 RBIs instead of 1. And in the 7th inning, he had a walk, and 9th inning ground out the first. So 2-for-4 day with a walk. That's not. It's not like he had any extra base hits or any home run. He didn't have a double or home run, but incredible day compared to what we've been seeing for Yordan Alverez. And Christian Walker went 0-for-4. Pitiful. I don't really want to talk about Christian Walker. Struck out swinging 3 times in this game today. Has been pitiful with runners in scoring position. Is it concerning? Yes, but is it Jose Abreu? No, because Christian Walker in previous games, not today, but in previous games, has had a lot of hard hit baseballs, and so that makes me believe in him. And he's just going through a really bad slump right now at the wrong time, because we saw him do really well in spring before his injury. Maybe he's still healing a little bit from this injury. I don't know. A part of me might want to say that maybe this Astros team has rushed him back a little bit. That is something I feel like needs to be considered here, that maybe the Astros rushed him a little bit, from that injury. But I think he's going to get hot eventually. I hope it's soon. Maybe it's on the road for this Astros team. I really hope so. But terrible day for him. Yainer Diaz, not much better for Yainer Diaz either. He's actually been worse than Christian Walker. He's batting 111 this year. Had a hit today 1-for-4, reach on an infield single to shortstop in the 4th inning. But I will say the frustrating thing with Yainer Diaz was him being unable to, 2nd inning had a 3-0 count. Gets that to a full count, flies out to left. Some of the pitches he swung at were balls. Should have had a walk in the 2nd inning. 5th inning, struck out swinging. There's in a situation where there's 1 out, runners on the corners, Yainer Diaz is very capable of sending a ball to the outfield to bring in Jose Altuve. To bring in Isaac Paredes to help the Astros get the lead to 1, but instead he strikes out. That's very frustrating. Then he fouled out to catch in the 7th inning, and his infield hit, it was all right, but that's it. And Yainer Diaz has been really frustrating so far this season. Jeremy Pena today went 0-for-3, struck out swinging twice today. That's something he has not done much this season at all. Walk in the 2nd inning. Jeremy Pena through 6 games this year has only struck out 3 times. He was number 3 in strikeouts last year for this team. In spring training, only struck out 3 times in 40 at-bats. So I think that's been impressive with, how his strikeouts have gone down a lot this year. But today, that was a different story. But a walk for him in the 2nd inning. Brendan Rodgers, I thought, had a solid day today. Back-to-back day for hits. With hits for Brendan Rodgers, 1-for-3, single to center in the 6th inning. He also had a walk in the 2nd inning. I was impressed with Brendan Rodgers going 1-for-3. Zach DeZenzo, he had a single to center for an RBI and then grounded into a fielder's choice in the 6th inning. Chas McCormick had a walk in the 5th inning and scored a run for the Astros, and that was it for Chazzy Fitz. And that was really it. So Astros do lose 6-3. Valdez pitches 5 innings. Luis Contreras looked really good in the 6th inning for the Astros. He gave it 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Ryan Gusto, I thought, looked great today. 2 innings, 2 hits given up, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. I know he did give that home run to Wade, but so far 4 innings of only 1 earned run baseball for Ryan Gusto with 4 strikeouts today. I want to say he had 2 or 3 strikeouts the other day. He's looked really good for a rookie so far for this Astros team, to the point where he's pitched 4 innings and only 1 earned run, and I think it's like only 3 or 4 hits he's given up, and is up to 7 strikeouts so far this season. So really impressed with Ryan Gusto early on. And so look, it was a tough day. again for this team. But if you ask me, 7 hits, 4 walks, it's better than what we've seen. It's better, to me, it's better than what we saw in the first 2 games of this series. I don't know. I think maybe the only game that did the offense, looked better than this was opening day. So I'm not saying this was a good offensive day for this team, but it was a lot better than it's been in most games this season for this Astros team. But pitching wasn't as good, mainly with Framber Valdez, and that's one of the big reasons why the Astros lost this game. That's unfortunate, but hopefully Astros can get things going on the road for the first time this year, going to Minnesota and going to Seattle. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.